Hey guys, and so number 4, we're in Jonah 4. There's only 4 chapters of Jonah, so we're in the last one. So Jonah here is now displeased with the result that was remarkable and miraculous, and now he's displeased with it. He's like, he's mad. He's super mad. Now who's been mad at Christ or God? Yeah, I've been mad, and I've let them know it. And we've had that out, and we've come to a peaceful time. But there are times when this will happen. Problem is, Jonah doesn't want to talk about it. Yeah. He just walks away from Christ again. It's like, no. You can't just keep walking away from conflict. You need to address the situation. If there's an issue or a problem that you have, you need to face that and deal with it. So there we go. Anyway. I've put this one as Christ has room for all, because in Jonah's mind it would seem he did not believe that. He thought that he could decide who was worthy and who wasn't worthy, and he had decided that the people of Nineveh were evil, not people of God, and therefore not worth his time. And I'm wondering if that's one of the reasons he ran, because he didn't run in a panic, he planned it. Don't know. Again, we don't know. But nonetheless, Christ has room for all. So Jonah is mad, and he tells Christ about it. And verse 1 says, "But it displeased Jonah exceedingly, and he was very angry. And then he prayed unto the Lord and said, O Lord, was not this my saying when I was yet in my country? Like, I told you this when you called me the first time. Therefore I fled unto Tarshish, for I knew that thou art a gracious God and merciful, slow to anger and of great kindness, and repentest thee of the evil." So it's like, I know you'd forgive me, and I know that you'd do this anyway. So why did I even have to come here if you were going to do this anyway? You know, it wasn't a great effort. It didn't need to be me. It could have been someone else. And is it even worth the time anyway? It's just attitude. He says, "Therefore now, O Lord, take, I beseech thee, my life from me, for it is better for me to die than to live." There goes that depressive attitude again, which is why I'm wondering if he was a manic depressive. There's something going on there, isn't there? And then said the Lord, "Dost thou well to be angry?" So Jonah has a sulk, doesn't want to talk to the Lord, goes and sits outside the city, makes himself a booth, and sort of just sits there and waits. Now the Lord puts a plant that grows over him to give him shade, because he's out in the hot desert. It's not pleasant. And he gets really happy about that, and then the plant dies, and he's so upset that the plant dies. So that's when Christ says to him, "You're upset about a gourd or a pumpkin that died? How upset do you think I would have been if the entire Nineveh had been destroyed because of their evilness? Because there was an attacker coming because of their evil ways. And I would have been really upset for all those people to die in their sin. But you're upset about a pumpkin? There's something off there." But God doesn't give up on him. He literally, continues to talk to him. He even says about the pumpkin, I've got there, "Thou hast had pity on the gourd, for which thou hast not laboured, neither madest it grow, which came up in a night and perished in a night." Like, it did its purpose, and he's upset about it. So it's again, he's wanting those things to be his way, and he's more attached to stuff and his opinion than what is good or what Christ would want. So Jonah's mad, tells Christ because it was pointless to come to Nineveh because it was too easy and he didn't even need to be there. He's like, I told you this when you first called me. I don't need to be here. He mourned his circumstances. Nineveh, on the other hand, mourned their sins, and that's how they were delivered. Jonah decided who was worthy and deemed Nineveh a waste of time. He failed to see the Lord has room for all, and it is not Jonah's decision who is worthy or not. And that is the same with us. The Lord has room for every person, everyone, all. And then it is not our decision who is worthy or not worthy. Remember that. Remember that when you're sitting in sacrament and you see an LGBTQ person or couple, or you see an investigator that smells of cigarette smoke or hungover, or you see a young woman in a really short skirt and a revealing top. It is not up to us who is worthy or isn't worthy. I know that there's been judgment on me because I have tattoos, and I'm like, are you kidding me? It has got nothing to do with my worthiness. Some people just get stuck in their ways and think that they know and that they have the right to do that. You do not. Christ has room for us all of us, every single one of us, no matter what. And if you're deciding who's worthy, you're in the wrong. Christ decides who's worthy. And he decides that everyone has space, that everyone is worth it. So, lesson done there. That's all I'm going to say on that one. So Jesus tries to talk with Jonah, but Jonah walks away. Again, in verse 9 to 11, Christ shows he does not give up on anyone. A valuable lesson about not being attached to stuff, instead be attached to people. That's what he's trying to teach him in verses 9 to 11. You're attached to stuff. You're attached to a pumpkin. I'm attached to people. So don't get attached to stuff. Like, it's all right to have things and to have a nice home and to dress well and drive a good car. Those are all fine. But your larger and bigger attachments should be to people. Your bigger concern should be to people. Don't, buy another thing when you could be helping a person if you don't need the thing. If you've already got 20 pairs of shoes that all fit just fine, how about helping someone who has no shoes get some, for example? There's some things in there to think about. Be attached to people. And it's a lot hard for us to attach to people, a lot harder for us to attach to people, because people will hurt us. People will disappoint us. They will leave us. They will say hurtful things. They'll ignore our messages. All sorts of things. And then they'll come back and love us, or they'll love us too much when we don't want them to. They've got their own behaviours, and they'll tell us their life stories when we didn't ask. They'll not tell us any information when they need to communicate it. People are frustrating. We all are. But be attached to people. Have that compassion in your heart to be attached to people. It is a way better relationship than being attached to stuff. Because stuff is fleeting. People will stay with you. Yeah, okay. Elder Cook, he said, we are all equal before God. His doctrine is clear. In the Book of Mormon we read, all are alike unto God. You get that? All are alike unto God, no matter what. All are alike unto God. So drop all your judgments and expectations and be more welcome and open to being attached to people and welcoming people into Christ's gospel, because he is the one who said there's room for all. And if you're truly believing in him, then there is room for all. And that's the end of the tale there. So that's Jonah. Poor Jonah, who probably, I think, seems like he had some sort of depression and some sort of misbeliefs going on. But we give him grace because Christ didn't give up on him, so we're not going to give up on him. And one day I'd really like to know more about this character, this prophet, this person. What was going on with him? Why was he feeling that way? What made him make those decisions? And what made him feel that it was better for him to die? I'd like to know. I think that would be helpful. Anyway, that's that one. Hang around. We're going to go through Micah and have a look at that. I'll see you there.